Good morning and welcome back to it, the special edition of the Now Morning Show, coming to you live from the Hyatt Regency as we are covering the CARICOM Regional Cricket Conference. And now we're talking women in cricket. Joining me this morning is cricketer Anisa Mohammed, who I recently learned is a grandee like myself, and of course held the title of top spin bowler in the world. Good morning, welcome. It is an absolute pleasure and an honor.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
It was necessary because one of the big conversations in this conference has to be the focus on other parts of cricket. Beyond just the male team and senior teams, we have women doing tremendous things in cricket, and I know that you must feel the same way. What are you looking forward most to coming out of this conference, or at least hearing in the conference being discussed?
Yeah, I think when you look at women's cricket, all you really hear about is our international tours, which is good because we did ask for a lot more international matches, but I think we need more than just that. You know, in terms of grassroots cricket, I think we definitely need that here in the Caribbean. I mean, if you look at the top teams, Australia, India, England, they start cricket from 5, 6 year old. They have programs. I remember going to Australia, and there was a 6-year-old playing better cricket shots than our senior ladies team. So there's no reason. I mean, if you look at that and you look at us, of course, that's why they have so many World Cups. Right. So I think that is necessary. We have to groom these young ladies from small. That is the kind of opportunities we need, not just going and playing more international matches. Right. Yeah, you can play international matches, but how good will you be?
Right. I like the thinking in terms of succession planning, which we heard a lot of good news and developments from both the Cricket West Indies, about representatives and of course CEOs. But in terms of the grassroots cricket, going back to it, you also play with a men's team, with the CARICOM men's team, I think it is?
Yes, that's right.
So that's, in terms of development and continuing to hone your chops, if you will, do you think that's something that other persons should look into, cross-training, if you will?
Yeah, I think so. To be honest, when I started, I actually started training with a boys team. And I think playing with boys, there's more competition. I know now there's a lot of teams, they tend to go all women's coaching clinics, which is good. Right. You give women more opportunity. But I think when you train with guys, there's more competition. I think that has helped with, you know, our generation. We played with guys and there was always competition, so you always want to do better. The level of cricket is a bit higher when you play with boys rather than you just play with girls.
Faces head on, I like that energy.
Yeah.
But let's also talk about leveling the pay gap in cricket. We're seeing it across sports, and you know, the larger sports with the larger number of supporters usually get more attention. But what would you like to see in that discussion?
Well, I think Cricket West Indies, they're moving in the right direction with that. I think by 2028, women would be paid equal with men, which is good. I mean, when we played, we basically played for the fun of it, you know, and I think now it's a career for women in cricket, and I think it's a step in the right direction, and I hope the girls appreciate what Cricket West Indies is doing for them, and that they go out and perform and represent the fans of West Indies cricket. Because let me tell you, yes, we feel hurt when we lost, but when you look at the comments from the fans, they also feel hurt. So I hope they appreciate all that Cricket West Indies is doing for them, and they go out and really represent us.
Now, to represent, we do need support. We do need, whether it be administrative or even in the facilities, to be improved. We have a lot of growing to do. In the world of cricket, though, we are seeing a lot of opportunities with a lot of investments, a lot of media attention. Everything is changing rapidly. What are some of the biggest advancements that helped, or you think will help, specifically females in the sport?
I think having all these franchises is really helping us. I mean, if you look at Hayley Matthews, the brand of cricket she is playing now, and I think because she's going out there and playing in WBBL and WIPL, she's exposed to a different brand of cricket. Right. And I think once we continue to have these franchise tournaments and we're able to get our players involved in these tournaments and be exposed to that level of cricket, I think that will help our cricket improve.
Now, going back to the initial point of having younger persons involved in the game, that sounds to me like not just parents being involved with pushing their children at a younger age, but perhaps curricula and other faculties being involved therein. Anything that you can suggest off the top of your head you think would help to advocate for younger persons getting involved, specifically girls, in the game of cricket?
Yeah, I think we have a lot of past players. I think it would be nice to have us involved in school in some of these schools, get us going to these schools, get us talking to them, get us coaching these young players. I mean, I worked with the national under 19 team last year, and because these players know who I am, they show more interest in wanting to develop their cricket. So I think having us go into schools rather than wait to see if they come to a national setup, I think that will definitely help in getting more women involved in cricket.
You all call Anisa because she's ready, and that means that schools across the country, both Trinidad and Tobago, the region, stand to hold that opportunity. Now, this conference is meant to tackle these sorts of conversations and others. There are particular talking points, but was there anything in terms of perusing the topics and even some of the speakers, anybody or any one thing you're looking forward to hearing from most?
I think all of them, to be honest. I'm not really looking forward to hearing from one person. I think when it comes to women's cricket, we need a lot of support, and I don't think it can come from one person or two. So I'm really hoping that we are able to get that collective support from everyone, and we'll be able to take women's cricket to where we need to.
Anisa, I am just glad that you came in, chatted with us this morning, because this conference has everybody buzzing, and there's so much possibility and hope are coming out of it. So I'm looking forward to the outcome just as much as you are. Let me get Grandy and Lime a little bit, because we want to make sure that women in sports continue to shine just like you did. So thank you very much for joining us this morning.
For having me.
We're going to go to the break and give you some of the topics for today's conference coverage, but stick around. There is more action, cricket action, on the Now Morning Show as we're coming to you live from the Hyatt for the CARICOM Caribbean Regional Conference. As promised, we are continuing conversations all morning long about cricket as we are here live at the Hyatt for the CARICOM Cricket Conference. Reinvigorating cricket means that we get to also reinvigorate women's cricket. And now I have the pleasure of being joined by former West Indies women captain, Miss Marissa Arguillera. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Show. An absolute pleasure and delight to have you.
Thanks for being here.
Anisa just chatted with me for a little bit and shared sentiments of excitement as to what possibilities this two-day conference holds. Of course, she speaks more from the perspective of an actual player and gave us some insight therein. But as former captain, your perspective will be slightly different. What do you look forward to most coming out of this two-day conference?
I think it would not be slightly different because even though I'm a captain, was a captain, I was still a player. And I think right now I am really excited about this. Whoever came up with the initiative, kudos to them, because it's a time that is needed for West Indies cricket to come together. For the past couple of years, I keep reiterating that the importance of unity. And without unity, there is no strength. And Caribbean people, we need to understand that cricket is the only thing that brings the Caribbean together. And this is what is needed right now, because if we don't unify, I think it's going to remain in the position that we are right now, and we need to get back West Indies cricket in the position, in this rightful place, which is on top.
The rightful place. Well, the women have done an exceptional job of drawing a lot of great positive attention to it with stellar performances. We have iconic players in our midst. Young, senior team, it doesn't matter, we've been doing exceptionally well. What do we need to enhance that though, specifically for the females?
I think when it comes to a proper structure in place, because if you realize that most of the female cricketers now, they have missed some development time, and I think that is what is needed. They need to put proper structure in place for the women's cricket, because most of the time, like for instance, you know, we will have conversations with persons and they will say, women's play cricket? You know, they're still not aware of these things. So I think more awareness and proper structure in place, because we need to know where the next Anisa Mohammed is coming from, where the next Stephanie Taylor, Hayley Matthews, who is doing extremely well for West Indies at this point in time. So we need to know where these players are coming from, and it can only come from the new generation that is coming. So we have to ensure that this generation is well prepared.
Now, we got some exciting news this morning about plans to support, if you will, younger generations of cricket. But when we talk specifically about the women, we're seeing a lot of younger performers doing exceptionally well already. What do you think attributes to that success that we could perhaps continue and just build on, to see better quality of players, more of the Haley Matthewses of the world, more record-breaking, and more titles coming to the West Indian women?
I think experience is the best teacher, and once you play cricket, you gain a lot of experience and you gain a lot of knowledge. And sometimes when you look at some of the cricketers, they lack knowledge because they are not playing enough cricket. So if we can have more regional cricket being played between the Caribbean countries and even, bilateral series as well, so you can give the players more time to play cricket. Even when you think about the countries, if they can have more competitive cricket within the countries where they could come together and try to get the players playing more cricket. I think that is really important, because if you're not playing enough cricket, no way you'll be able to learn and understand the game. So I think understanding the game and being knowledgeable of the game, I think is really crucial.
A lady of action. We want to play more of the game so we get better of it. It makes complete sense. But we have to also talk about T20 cricket and the change that it has caused in the game altogether. Now, there are obviously persons who are against it, the short form, the FET arena. As a matter of fact, both of our previous guests talked about the takeaways, the positives, being the culture and the vibrance of the people. What are your thoughts on T20 cricket, specifically where females are concerned and more involvement there? Even perhaps like Anisa does, where she's crossing the gender norms and playing with male teams, perhaps. Is that something you want to see more of in the future?
I really enjoy T20 cricket. I think, to be honest, it's one of the hardest formats to play, because you need to be quick in your thinking, you need to be agile, you need to move around quickly, you need to make critical decisions as fast as possible. So I think when it comes to that format, it's an opportunity for players to challenge themselves, to challenge their fitness, and how they go about things, how they go about their mental thinking and preparation. And I really enjoy T20 cricket as much as, the culture. Our Caribbean culture is more of a festive and enjoyable one, and I think we bring something special. And knowing that the World Cup will be in in the West Indies, we will be looking forward to that, because we sell a product that the world is interested in, and I know that it's definitely going to be out of the world.
Cannot wait for it, very frankly. And that means then that we definitely have some preparation opportunities. So from both the on-field perspective and behind the scenes, because in terms of your retirement and now looking on, I'm sure you have some tips or tricks that we should look at, areas to focus on perhaps in these upcoming games, in these upcoming hostings that we need to focus on. What do you want to share with Cricket West Indies?
I must say that the fans, they are important. Sometimes we forget the fans, but they are very important. When COVID came around, we had a terrible time as cricketers, as sports personnel around the world, because persons don't understand the importance of fans. So I think, getting that those fans coming and really enjoying the cricket and, sharing their little stories and sitting and enjoying themselves, I think is really critical. And not just that, but getting the younger persons into the stands in order so that they can see what it takes to be an international player and what level of cricket that is needed to play in order to reach to that level.
So Marissa, well, let's talk post-retirement. Is there any opportunity for you to become more involved, or not is there, but describe the opportunity for you to now become more involved from a top level, looking down almost, in the cricket world, because we can see the passion is still there. You will always be an exceptional player.
It's always there.
Just as we go to break and wrap things up in this session.
Well, to be honest, when I came and thought about my retirement, I said, I wanted to know to myself what I wanted to do, but I have been touching all areas to see exactly where I want to settle. So I've been coordinating, managing, coaching as well, and trying to motivate, because I think that is my God-given talent, and God has blessed me to motivate the younger ones and to move the generation ahead. And I think that is what is my role, and that is what is needed, especially in a time like this where the youths are really distracted. So I think my role is bigger than I think about, but it's all about maintaining myself and remaining humble and waiting and seeing what God has in store.
Well, we're going to wait and see what culminates at the end of this two-day conference, but we thank you for making time to chat us up this morning on the Now Morning Show. Marissa Arguillera, the former West Indian women captain, chatting us up this morning on the special edition coming to you live from the Hyatt for the CARICOM Regional Cricket Conference. We have more after these messages. Come back now, y'all.